Hello, hello. How is everybody? Hi, Lane. How are you? How are you doing, Elaine? Hi, Patty. Ooh, y'all, my computer's not working. What is up? Good. I'm glad you're doing good, Elaine. Hi, Suzanne. I'm good. How are you? I'm trying to post some things here, and my computer is not, the enter button is not working. Let's just erase it and start over. There we go. That one worked. We're going to do a gingerbread wreath this evening. It's going to be really cute, I think. There. Hi, Ronnie. There we go. Okay, everybody. Good evening. I'm Jamie Shahan, owner and creator of Teal Lollipops Wreaths. I create beautifully handcrafted wreaths for all of the holidays and seasons. And today we're going to be doing a gingerbread wreath. So this is the sign. This is where it all started. It's kind of an off-white sign, which I thought was really cute. Not a bright white, but it's really difficult finding off-white with the red and the green to match. So, you know, it doesn't matter. White's white, I guess. I'm pairing it with bright white. This is the little gingerbread figure that I found at the at-home store. It's kind of got the weighted bottom, so I think I'm going to try to sit it inside the center of the wreath. Really cute. And then I've just got a few accessories to go with it. A little gingerbread men and woman and a little gingerbread house. So let me put this aside for a sec. So I have decided to use the burlap mesh since it kind of mimics the gingerbread cookie dough color. And then I'm going to pair it with the 10-inch red, green, and white stripe accent mesh with a 10-inch white stripe burlap mesh. Again, to mimic the gingerbread color. So we're going to be doing the poof and ruffle method. Here's the ribbon that I got. I found this ribbon at the Christmas warehouse store. And I had the sign. I've had the sign for a couple of months. And I couldn't find any ribbon to go with it. And lo and behold, they had it. So that's what I'm going to pair that with. And I think it looks really cute with that mesh. And then I'm pairing it with this 1.5-inch polka dot with a fuzzy edge. Just about every three of the four ribbons have this white fuzzy edge on it. And then I found this Merry Christmas ribbon, which also I got that at the Christmas warehouse. And this is the only one that doesn't have the fuzzy edge, but it does have a red edge. And then I'm going to pair it with that ribbon. Okay? So let me put all of this aside and we will get started. So y'all, my door is open to my little area here where I do all my crafting and recording. And my dogs are running around like crazy. So if I have to get up and go shut a door or put a dog downstairs or something. Hey, Christy. Y'all forgive me. Got to take care of the dogs. Alright, so I've got a little bit left over. And I was going to start with this, but I don't think I will. I'm just going to put that aside. Save it for another day. And we're going to start with a full row. So we're going to be doing 10-inch poofs. And this is burlap mesh, and it's sticking to each other, to itself. All right, let me make some room here. All right, so 21-inch mesh, burlap color, just find you an edge. Sometimes the edges will be cut kind of strange, what I do is I just try to stretch it out a little bit and line it up to where it looks like it's straight. And then I just start there and start pulling it together. But by the time I get around the edge, well, let me show y'all something too. But by the time I get around to finishing all the poofs and cut it off, it'll be zigzag and messed up again. So I don't know why I mess with that so much, but I do. So I got this mesh wreath form, wire wreath form at Hobby Lobby, and it only had, I think, how many? It only had like 15 or 16 ties on it. So, and they were kind of spaced out in a strange way. So I cut most of them off, and I found these ties. I knew they existed, but I've never bought them before. And I got these at the warehouse store. They look just like the ties I cut off. Only it's, you know, the standard, probably, what's that, 12 inches? Yeah, it's the standard 12 inch, just like a pipe cleaner. Hey, Jane. Y'all say hi to Jane. She's an old friend from high school. She's tuning in for the first time. So this is just like a pipe cleaner, only it's made out of that same stuff that the ribbon ties that come on your wire wreath form are. They're kind of like what comes on a pine wreath. So let me just show y'all real quick how you measure these out. So if you get a frame that doesn't have any ties on it, and you want to, you know, save some money and put this on yourself, I'm going to show y'all how to measure out. Some people go crazy and they're trying to measure equal distance around the top and the bottom, and I'm going to show y'all an easy way to do it. So just pick a place to start, and I'm going to start right here because it's going to hold it pretty securely if I wrap it around that bar. So I'm just going to wrap it around twice. So find any starting point, it doesn't matter where, and wrap it up. And then what you do, and you really kind of want them even, but what you do is you measure with these ties. So you fold the ties over, and that's where you're going to put your next tie. Let me get a couple here and show y'all. So right here is where I'm going to put the next tie. And try to get them even so that your measurements work out okay. And they're going to be a little bit loose on your wreath form, and that's okay. Because by the time you get your mesh on it, it's not going to be any big deal. So that's where that one is. And then I'll fold that one down. And that's where the next one will be. So very simple. Don't spend a lot of your time trying to figure out where you're supposed to put that tie and measure it. Just use the tie itself to measure where the next one's going to go. So what I did with this, because it had a strange number of ties on it, I cut most of them off and started over and put my own ties on there. Okay? All right. So let's get started again. So just straighten out your mesh and just start to gather it this first time. And it's already starting to fray because I handled it and stopped. Pick anywhere, it doesn't matter where, and tie it down on your ties. Now because this is already raveling, I'm going to cut some of that off because it's driving me crazy already. So take a zip tie and zip tie it in place so that it is secure. Y'all, I have been busting my fanny all day long trying to clean my upstairs. I have been so neglectful in vacuuming and making my bed, and about the only thing I've been doing for the last couple of weeks is making sure that I had clean sheets on my bed, and that's about it. Okay, so I've got a measuring board, a cutting board underneath me, and I'm going to just put where I've tied it off at the 10 mark, and I'm going to come to the 20, so I'm going to do 10-inch poofs. So if you want to be really specific, then you can measure it like that. But after you do it for a while, you're going to figure out what 10-inch poofs looks like, and then you'll quit measuring. And I'm going to kind of puff it out as we go along. So I've got quite a bit of accent mesh to put on this. This is kind of a see-through looking mesh, and that's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about it being so see-through because I'm putting all this accent mesh on it. And with the addition of the accent mesh, it will cover up that wire wreath frame, and so I won't have to worry about it too much showing through. And so I didn't take all of these ties off. I still left some of them there in place, and I've got 17 ties. I've got an odd number of ties this time, and that's all right. We'll work with it. I've only cut 16 pairs of ribbon, or enough pairs of ribbon for 16 ties, rather. So I'm going to see, I purposefully did that. When I get to the very end, I'm going to see what it looks like and which set of ribbon looks better in that last spot that I have left over. So how's everybody doing with your wreath making? Everybody doing good? I've decided, I came to an epiphany. Oh, good, Suzanne. Yeah, Suzanne, I liked your white snow ice skate wreath. You're right. I couldn't see it very well. You almost finished another one? Awesome. I don't know why you don't go ahead. Oh, no, that was Cheryl, it said. No, that was Suzanne. Almost finished another one. I don't know why, Suzanne, you don't go ahead and just start your shop. You're the one that said you didn't have a shop yet, right? You wanted to practice a little bit more. Cheryl, you're behind big time. I think I stay behind. Patty, staying busy. Jane, not there yet. Yeah. That's all right. Y'all, Suzanne made a wreath, and she's been sending me a few pictures for me to help her and critique a little bit. And she made a white wreath that had ice skates on it. And I thought that it was darling. Elaine, you have 49 pieces in your shop? That's awesome. Remember what I said. Work toward that 100. Are you selling anything yet? Are you selling anything? And do you have your search engine optimization optimized? Do you have your page optimized? Finished 2 today, just uploaded to Etsy. Awesome. Awesome. So I met my goal of making my wreaths. You sold 2? That's awesome. Great. Seven so far. Man, that's great. Y'all are doing better than me. Explain search engine optimization, Suzanne. Is that what you're referring to? Yeah. Okay, so search engine optimization, also known as SEO, the capital letters S-E-N-O. Search engine optimization is words. It is making sure that you have keywords listed on your items and in your shop description that helps the computer algorithm show people your stuff. So let's just take, for instance, this is going to be a gingerbread wreath. So let's just go through the search engine optimization that I'm going to use on this wreath. So when I give this wreath a title, my title will be something like Christmas Gingerbread Deco Mesh Wreath for the front door, comma, Holiday holiday wreath for front porch. So you're going to come up with your title, and your title is going to contain words that people search for. So any wreath that you're listing, you are going to put yourself in a buyer's shoes, and let's pretend that they're going to try to find a gingerbread wreath, for instance. I'm going to try to think of everything that they would put in a search to find a gingerbread wreath. And I am going to, those are called keywords. And I am going to put all of those keywords that I can think of in my title, in my description, and in my tags. So your title, your description, and your tags have to contain keywords that people will search for, and hopefully that will lead them to your wreath. So basically what you're doing is you're telling the algorithm or the computer how to find you. And when the algorithm and the computer can find you, then they show that to people, and then people can find you. So that's probably not explained well, but that is what SEO is. You're optimizing the search engine so that people can find you. Well, it sounds like you're doing it right, Elaine, if you've got sales already. Basically, it's like computer programming. You're programming your Etsy shop to be found. And so when I list this wreath on Etsy, I will also list that it's a burlap wreath. That will be one of my keywords. Gingerbread wreath. Holiday decor. Let's see, red and green, traditional wreath. Don't forget the words door hanger. Yes, Patty, most of the big names have some sort of digital product that you can purchase to optimize your SEO. So Deco Exchange has it. Julie Samako with Southern Charm Wreaths. She gives it away with her Success Circle membership. But Deco Exchange, you don't have to be involved in their membership. You can just go pay a one-time fee and get their digital product if you don't want to join a monthly group. All right, so there's that. So I'm going to take this little tail here, and we're going to tuck it between these two rows. I'm going to flip it over and let's zip tie this in place and get it out of our way. All right, since I've got it flipped over, let's go ahead and cut these tails off from these zip ties. One thing about burlap is there's always little fuzzies floating around in the air. They make me want to sneeze. I love burlap though. If you ever find burlap on sale, and especially a kind of burlap mesh that you like, get a lot of it. You can use burlap year round. And I'm discovering I like burlap so well because, you know, I told y'all when I very first started, I had a tendency to make everything so matchy-matchy that by the time the wreath was made, all you could see was basically one color. So burlap can be used winter, spring, summer, fall, and all of the holidays, and it offers a more dimension to your wreaths. It breaks up the color a little bit so that your eye will travel around the wreath and won't just see one solid color. So I'm using 2 different decorative meshes. So I think what I'll do today is I'll just do a ruffle, not a woodland ruffle. I'm just going to do a plain ruffle. And so when I do a ruffle, I fold it curl side down. So this would be curl side up. I fold it curl side down. And I just kind of open it up a little bit, and then I just start scrunching. Just walk your fingers till you get to the end and scrunch it together. Now, if you handle it too much, you're going to have more fraying this way. So try to just do it and move on. I didn't want to put too much of this red, green, and white ribbon or mesh because I wanted the brown to really stand out. So that's why I went ahead and got a second decorative mesh that was burlap. Now my dog is starting to cry in the room. I've got the funniest dog. This was the adopted dog, Jack. And he is a mama's boy, big time. Loves women, a little bit afraid of men. And so what he started to do, God, this probably started about a year ago, was we always go to bed at the same time, me and little Jack. Actually, he's not little at all, he's huge. But we go to bed at the same time. He started coming in the room and then shutting the door behind him. So anytime he's in the room and he wants to be alone, he'll just shut the door. So that's what he's done now. He's in there and he's shut the door, which is the room right next to me, and I can hear him. So he has shut the door, and now he's not happy that he's locked himself in the room. So I'm going to have to go let him out here in a second. All right, so now I've got one left here. I'm not going to fill it just yet. I'm going to go ahead and start on the bottom. Because it's a odd number at the top, I'm either going to have 2 browns right next to each other or 2 reds right next to each other. But I'm going to see what the color looks like once I get the bottom on to see which one I want to put in there. So let's see where I'm going to start. I think I'll start right here. So more than likely, since I'm starting here with this red and green, I'll put a brown here. I'm not so sure I want another red and green one there. So I'm going to have to go let this dog out here in a second, y'all. He's starting to scratch at the door. Silly dog. Okay, Jack, hang on. Hang on, buddy. All right, y'all, wait a minute. All right, buddy, there you go. Lay down. Lay down. Yeah, I got this red and green in a membership box, a subscription box from Deco Exchange. And so I'm using it tonight. All right, Elaine. I hope it's not my computer. Anybody else having trouble? Nope. Okay, good deal. So I've got a bunch of new wreaths in my shop, but they're already starting to sell, so I feel like I'm behind again. I really wanted to get 30 Christmas wreaths in my shop, but it's not going to happen. I mean, it'll happen, but I'm not so sure that they'll all be there at one time. Yeah, that red and green is cute. So you can look at that video and you can see that your eye travels around the wreath because it's broke up between the burlap color and the red and green color. It's not one continuous red and green color or one continuous burlap. And that's what you want. Yeah. Next year we start in August. I'm gonna create a spreadsheet of some sort, and I'll give it to you guys. I'll pass it along to you if you want, of when you should be making what, and not only when, but you know how many you should have. Not necessarily how many, but when it should be in your shop, because that you'll know. According to this sheet, when it should be in your shop, that's when people are already looking for it on Pinterest. People will look for ideas on Pinterest, and they can run across your stuff, and you can link it right to your Etsy shop. But people will look for ideas, and then they'll see your stuff, and they'll just think, oh, well, I'll just go and buy it. So I'm already thinking, after I get through with all of this Christmas stuff, I'm ready to start making Valentine's in spring. All right, so now I've got one more to go right here. Now I mean, it all looks pretty good. I could put a burlap or I could put a red there. I think I'll put a burlap there. So let me cut it. Let me push this aside. So we did 21-inch poofs, and then we did the 10-inch accent mesh, and I cut all of this mesh at 14 inches. I don't think I said that at the beginning. All right, now we'll go to the ribbon. I'm hoping I can travel next year to Toronto warehouses. My stepdaughter and her husband came down with, oh no, Suzanne. How are they? Your stepdaughter and her husband came down with COVID. COVID ain't no joke, y'all. Problem with COVID is that some people, it doesn't do anything at all to them, and some people, they die from it. They're sick. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. All right, so this is cut to 12 inches in length, and then I've dovetailed the ends of it. Real sick. Oh no. Whew. I'm so sorry. Prayers for them. So just eyeball it. Put your 1.5 inch on top of your 2.5 inch. Eyeball the center, and then give it a little scrunch. And I give it a little twist till I get a V shape. And then I give it a little bit of a cupping so that it's like a bird wing. And then just start laying it on your ties. So once I get it here, I always have all of mine coming out toward the outside, but I will take the top and have it coming more straight out, and then I'll take the bottom and having it more V'd more toward the outside. That way you can see both. And then we'll just go around the whole wreath like this. So eyeball it and find the center. Prayers are welcome. Yes, ma'am. We will definitely throw up some prayers. Whew. How old are they, Suzanne? She is 40 and he is 69. Sorry, I didn't see that. Oh, man. Well, you know, age really doesn't even matter. They say it does, but I'm not so sure. Because the hospital that I work at, we had a 25-year-old kid who passed. Now, he was obese, but he was 25. For goodness sakes, he was 25. 25-year-olds are not supposed to die. So I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm going to get this doll to sit in this wreath, but we'll figure it out. I'm thinking about running a wire. No rhyme or reason. That's absolutely right. There's no rhyme or reason. It's kind of scary. But I think I'm going to run a wire through the gingerbread doll's booty and attach it like he's sitting inside the center of the wreath. My dog's over here just laying on the ground. He's happy as a clam now that he's in the room with me. First couple of years, probably the second year we had him, we took him to the lake. We like to go to the lake. And so we took him to the lake with us. And this silly dog, I like to get out and go on the paddleboard. And this silly dog was following me around. He was on the shore and I was on the paddleboard. And he was just following me everywhere. I couldn't get away. Not that I wanted to get away, but... And then I tried to teach him just to get on the paddleboard with me, but I wasn't successful with that one. My little Boston Terrier will get on the paddleboard with me, but the big dog won't. So when I was looking for ribbon for this gingerbread wreath, I was looking for red gingerbread ribbon. But I'm actually liking this green better. I don't think I've ever seen green ribbon like that. I really like it. Dogs are wonderful. I think that they utilize more of their brain, percentage of their brain, than we do. So they're more into, you know, what God intended. They just are instinctually know, and we don't. We don't use, you know, what do they say? We only use a quarter of our brain, if that. I think dogs are wonderful too for that reason. I love this ribbon too. Yes, ma'am. All right, so the bottom one's going to work out to where the ribbon is not going to be side by side, duplicates side by side. But as I've said many times, that doesn't really matter. Now on the top, it's not going to work out that way, but I've also not cut the last set of ribbon for the top so that I can figure out which one I want. All right, let's start at the top. God is dog spelled backwards. You know, I have heard that before, and I forgot all about that. That is so true. Makes you wonder. Makes you stop and think. I haven't made the bow yet for this either. I was going to wait to figure out just exactly what I was going to do, because there's such a, the little gingerbread man is so big. I usually put the sign at the top and the bow at the bottom, or the sign on the side and the bow on the opposite side. But the gingerbread man, you know, he's going to act visually, he's big. So I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to have to like put it in a triangle of some sort. The burlap is becoming my favorite backdrop. Mine too, actually. I've got lots and lots of colorful 21-inch mesh, and I keep going back to the burlap. And I think it's because visually it breaks things up, and your eye travels around the wreath and doesn't, you know, it wants to see everything on the wreath because everything's not one solid color. All right, 2 more. All right, so visually, I don't think it's going to really matter which ribbon I choose to put right here. And so I've got an extra one here. So I've got 2 green here, and I've got 2 white here, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to choose the one that I like the most, which is the green. So let's cut another piece of the green and the red. So these are 12-inch pieces. I'm going to dovetail it. So to dovetail, you fold it lengthways, start at the fold, and cut at about a 45-degree angle toward the wired edge. If you get thin ribbon, this ribbon here is pretty thin. Thin ribbon doesn't always lend itself well to a dovetail because it just starts curling up. So, and I went ahead and dovetailed that, but I'm going to make these not quite 45 degrees. I'm going to make them a little bit blunter. And then that way there's less curl. Suzanne, you're a nut. All right, so. Good, I want you to learn a lot. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, so next we're going to try to figure out where we're going to put all this stuff. So I'm probably going to put the gingerbread sign at an angle, something like that. And I'm going to set this little gal down inside. Her bottom is weighted, so I'll probably set her down in there. Sorry, y'all, I gotta turn this around so I can see it. Yeah, since she's weighted, she's got the weighted bottom, I'm probably gonna have to put her right in the center. And let her little legs dangle over the side. And I'll put my sign right there. So that means that I'm going to need a big bow over here. And then I'll put all these little accents just wherever. something like that. So let's prepare this sign and let's prepare her. And I'm going to put this to the side. No, yeah, we don't need a big bow for that. We definitely don't need a long tail bow. We need a funky bow would be awesome. So when I prepare my signs, this one is not too thin, so I think it'll do just fine. So when you have wooden signs, you have to make sure that your staples aren't longer than your sign is thick. If it is, then your staples are going to come through the front of your sign, and then you've just messed it all up. So to prevent that from happening, and I think this one is fine, but I'm going to take some precautionary measures anyway. You put some ribbon underneath your ties. See if I can find some excess ribbon, and I can't. So I'm just going to take a few pieces of ribbon and put them underneath. Just cut some pieces out. Doesn't even have to be the same kind of ribbon that you're using. I'm going to get some red chenille stems. I'm going to use 4 of them. I'm going to fold this probably in quarters so I can have a little bit of thickness. Lay it down first and then put your chenille stem on top of it. This is going to be a little bit loud, y'all. No, that's not too bad. Okay. So fold it in quarters. Put it on top. And staple in place. And then it doesn't come out the other side, so we're good. I usually try to coordinate the ribbon just in case somebody can see the back side of it, but more than likely nobody's ever going to see it, so it's no big deal. Just any ribbon will do. Do y'all hear my other dog down there barking? Sorry. We have a lot of dogs in this house, unfortunately. Alright, and then I go in for the overkill, of course, and I put hot glue on top of that. Totally not needed, but this is just me. The last thing you want is for your stuff to come undone when it gets to your customer's house. So I go a little crazy here with this. And the other day I was taking some pictures of a wreath, and my hanger came off. And so now I'm paranoid about my hangers coming off. So I'm going to have to go through and double check all of my wreaths and make sure that my hangers are twisted right and they're not going to come off. Okay, so I'm going to take some wire and I'm going to run through his bottom. So this is 22 gauge wire. So we're going to let that cool while we fix this little guy up. You can choose whichever kind of wire you like. I've got some silver wire here. Yeah, yeah, Jane. I got a lot of God going on in my home, which is dogs spelled backwards. So I'm just going to take a little, pinch a little section here. Sometimes if your wire is really thin, it kind of starts getting twisted once it's inside. Try to keep it as straight as you can and just push it through there. I'm going to cut this at an angle so that it creates a point. I know y'all can't see that, but it's there. Okay, so let's see if we can get this going through here. Come on. Okay. I'll give it a couple of twists. I'm even going to put a little glue on it. Overkill, I know. I know. Alright, so we'll let that cool off. And there it is. Just run it through there, twist it off, put a little glue on it, or don't put a little glue on it. It's totally up to you. And that's not quite ready either. I should have done that ahead of time, y'all. Sorry. Okay. Alright, so while that's drying, let's go ahead and make a bow. Get that out of the way. So I'm going to use the easy bow. And we're going to use the same ribbon. So I'm going to use this white ribbon on the bottom. Okay, so the white ribbon also has the wording on it. So I need to figure out first if, as I place this on here, do I want to make sure that the wording is upright, or do I even care? And let's see. I kind of care. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is, I think I'll just make the tails first. Alright, so this is 8 and this is 8. So I think I'll just, first of all, just cut it straight out and make the tails. Okay. So this is just going to be scrunched up and put right in the center. Okay. And one will go up and one will go down. So to keep this in upright, basically you're just going to have a loop here. Okay, you're just going to make a loop, and you're going to have probably an inch, probably an inch or two where it overlaps. And I want this to be probably 6 inches. So I'm just going to kind of loosely measure this for now. This is probably not the way somebody else would do it, but this is the way I do it. Some people will just do it in their hand and hold it in their hands, and I'm not great with that. So when I'm getting some arthritis. I hate to keep saying that, but it's truth. It's the truth. I'm getting some arthritis in my hands. So I'm just going to make a loop, just one big continuous loop, and overlap it right there. And I'm going to lay it down and just kind of make that the center. And I've measured it to where it's about 6 inches, a little bit more than 6 inches on each side. So I'm just going to find the center point, somewhere close to the center point. I'm just eyeballing it, and I'm going to scrunch it together. Oy, oy, oy. Let me try that again. And I'm going to place this down in here. And so now my Christmas, my Merry Christmas, my wording is all readable and upright. Okay? So now we'll go to the gingerbread man. He won't matter. Let's give it a little dovetail. Yeah. So this one won't necessarily matter. So one's going to go up And one's going to go down, one loop. Eight-inch tail. About the same size of a bow as, or bow loop as what's below it. I think I'll put this one down and this one up. That one down too. And then we'll cut this off about 8 inches. And let's dovetail. So you got one loop going up and one loop going down, one tail going up and one tail going down. Okay? So now the decision will be which one do you want to be on top. And to me, the one that's on top is the one that shows the most. So I want the green to be on top. So I'm going to do the red next. So it's just the same thing. This is single-sided ribbon, so it has to be twisted. And again, it's the same thing. One tail up, one tail down, one loop up, one loop down. And last is this. How do you dovetail? You fold it. I'll show you on this last piece here. So you take your length of ribbon and you fold it long ways, and you start at the folded edge and you cut at an angle toward the wired edge. So all ribbon that you use for a wreath, for a bow, and on a wreath should be wired ribbon. Don't buy it unless it's wired. And so you'll fold it long ways. Now I cut that long, so let me cut this a little bit shorter. So you're going to fold it long ways, start at the folded edge, and cut toward the wire. And then you have a dovetailed edge. Okay, so everything's pretty much going in the opposite directions. And that's it. So let's get it together. So I like to zip tie mine, but to start with, I'm not going to. So just pull it up out of that and slide your chenille stem over it, and then you're just going to start to twist. So I think all of my tails are too long. So I'm going to come back here and cut them. So that's kind of a funky bow. If I'm not mistaken, a funky bow, I hate to cut this ribbon. Ooh. A funky bow is a great way to utilize a bunch of your ribbon pieces. You can take pieces that are I hate to cut that. You take a ribbon that you don't have much left of, and as long as it all kind of coordinates and goes together, you can just take it. It only requires 1 or 2 loops, so it's very little ribbon is required for a funky bow. I don't even want to cut this green ribbon. I don't think I'm going to. I don't want to cut the green or the white. I don't mind cutting the 1.5 inch. But there you have it. So let's get this on the wreath. So I'm going to go ahead and put a zip tie here. I like zip ties on my bows. It's just me. All right, let's cut that off. I think that's still too long. Let me cut this off some more. Let's get this on the wreath. And I think these are dry enough now that we can go ahead and put it all together. So let's do that. Alright, so this little baby, I'm probably, before we do that, I'm probably going to need to put a stabilization bar on the back. So I'm going to take some tan beige colored zip ties, or excuse me, chenille stems. I'm going to twist them together. I think this gingerbread girl is going to need something a little higher up other than her rump to stabilize her. So I'm going to put a stabilizing bar here, which is just chenille stems. I'm going to tie them on the back. And what I'll do is probably put another tie or a piece of wire on her around that collar and attach it to this. Okay. So she'll sit right here. And I'm going to have something for the collar. So let's go ahead and do that. Just a little piece. So I'm just going to go right up through this collar, just like that, and I'm going to twist it down. Now this can always come out if I decide I don't like it. I can't take it out of the bottom because I've, hot glued that. So I've got a tie here at the collar and a tie here at the bottom. So let's start with the bottom first. I'm going to take these wires and run them through this mesh and attach it to the wreath base. She's as cute as can be. Okay. So I'm going to get her where I want her. Tighten her down. Okay, now we're going to take this one and we're just going to attach it to this stabilizing wire that we've got here. So now when it sits up, that's not going anywhere. The little legs are dangling over. So cute. And it's not going to fall off. Yeah, that looks really good. Too cute. Alright. Next we're going to attach the sign. The sign is going to be over here at an angle. And if I don't like the sign later, I can always change it. if I don't like the location of the sign. If I don't like it at an angle or, you know, whatever. There's something I don't like about it. I put it in temporarily. But then when I figure out exactly where I want it, then I will tie it down really tight. And probably put more hot glue on it. I'm the overkill hot glue queen. For sure. Alright, so I keep looking underneath to see if I can find a bar to attach it to. I'm going to have to stop flipping over my wreaths. Right now it's not any big deal. But I flip them over a lot to attach my signs and stuff. And I realize my bows are getting smushed like crazy. And sometimes they'll get creases. And I don't really like that. Alright, almost there. Okay. So there's that. And now we just need our bow. Where did my bow go? Here it is. And so the bow will probably go somewhere like right here. So I don't want the bow to be perfectly lined up with the top of the head. So I either want it a little bit higher so that you have some varying heights here, or I want it lower. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I'm watching the camera, y'all, and it's a little delayed. If you're wondering what I'm doing while I'm standing here. I kind of like it down here. And that'll give me some accent space here. What do y'all think? Again, I can always move it. Higher? You like it higher? Lower? All right, let's take a look at it. Lower, lower, low. Okay, let's try low. Yep, they said lower. We're going to go with lower. Y'all, my dog has gone into the room again and shut the door. And now he's whining again. God, a dog. All right, let me find my ties. Okay, I'm going to have to cut that ribbon after all. All right, let me fluff this bow up a little bit. He is a sweet boy, but he's a pain in the patookus right now. Oh, wait a minute. I got to flip that around so my Christmas is right side up. That's so cute, y'all. So stinking cute. What do y'all think? And then I'll come through here. He wants a gingerbread man, probably. And I will come through here. The thing that I'm not liking about it is that there's so much color going on. It's just kind of all blending in. Which is why I wanted more of the burlap color. So I might come back through here and put another layer of burlap. Because that burlap was so thin, I probably should have done that burlap. I cut that at 14 inches. But I probably should have done it at 24 or longer so that I could have gotten the color really rich. Because you can hardly see it. And I really want that burlap to come through. Because I think that will break up the monotony of all of the red and the green. Because there's so much red and green. I probably will do that. So what I'll do, instead of taking it all apart, what I'll do is just cut some extra pieces. Let's just cut one and see what it looks like. I'll cut some extra pieces and twist them together and put them in there, and we'll just see what it looks like. See if that's a good direction. So we'll make a little... I'm just going to take I keep saying zip tie, a chenille stem, and put in there. Twist it up. And so I'll probably put that somewhere like right here. Let's just put one in and let's see if it helps any. Yeah, I gotta go open the door for my dog. He's going crazy. So I'll have to work on that. What you doing? Like shutting the door, silly boy. So you see how that'll bring more of the brown to the front? And so I kind of like that. I'm not liking how high it's sitting on the wreath, but I like the color coming through. So I'll work on that a bit. And then I'll come through here, and I kind of like these little red hangers that this is on. So I'm not so sure I'll take those off. I'm kind of liking them. But these little guys will be tucked in here somewhere. And then I've got this gingerbread house, which I think is adorable. So I'll probably put that somewhere like that. All right, you guys, that's it. That's the gingerbread wreath. And I will finish this off probably if I can find a burlap gingerbread color placemat. That's what I would like to put on the back to cover up all the workings. So I don't know if y'all do that or not, but what I do on all of my wreaths is I don't like all these inner workings showing, so I will take a placemat and put it on the back with some zip ties, some coordinating zip ties to cover all that up. And if I can find burlap, it might be kind of hard to find this time of year, but if I can, then I would prefer burlap. But anyway, that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I would appreciate it if you would share this video with all of your friends on your Facebook page. It just helps get the word out. And as usual, I appreciate all of y'all regulars for showing up. It's pretty awesome. And if I can help you in any way, y'all message me. I'll be happy to help. Talk to you soon. Bye.